It's been nearly 2 weeks since the Ford government implemented a province-wide shutdown, yet the province's COVID-19...
Dr. Williams says the tables come back, they want a lockdown. I will lock down quicker than you can blink your eyes.
This pandemic dramatically changed everyone's lives. But what we forget sometimes is that this is also affecting the pets we have and love. What was the effect it had on our pets, animal shelters, and wildlife? I will be going around Toronto, Ontario to find the negative or even positive impact COVID-19 may have had on them. This is Pets in a Pandemic. On our first stop, we are going to be taking a deeper look at Toronto's animal shelter, the Toronto Humane Society. Luckily, I was able to get a hold of someone who was happy to share some details.
Hi guys, my name is Hannah Satropa, the Assistant Manager of Communications at Toronto Humane Society, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about how our shelter was impacted by the COVID-19 virus. Now, when COVID-19 began and lockdown first hit, we did have to close our shelter from public viewing, and so we moved the majority of our public services onto an online platform. Some of these services included our digital adoptions program, our virtual training classes, as well as the inception of new programs like our Pet Parent Support Network, as well as telemedicine. We are proud to say that our animals are still receiving incredible enrichment and world-class care despite the COVID-19 virus, many of which who are living in temporary foster homes across the city and greater, and others who are in our shelter at 11 River Street here in Toronto, receiving care from our experts and professionals.
Did you know that dogs can develop mental illness? Yup, forms of anxiety, especially separation anxiety, compulsive disorders, fears and phobias, and even post-traumatic stress disorder. This was one of the biggest topics for this documentary because when this pandemic hit, it all went south. Let's take a look at some words from an expert.
Hi, I'm Laura from Dog Lounge. I should say I'm the owner of Dog Lounge and I've been training dogs for years. So the question that you had for me regarding how puppies or dogs, if we are seeing any changes in their behavior that's being a direct effect with the pandemic, and a lot, like more than ever, that we've ever seen in puppies and dogs. So for example, a year ago today, when we were at the start of our lockdown, there was puppies. People were all going out and getting puppies.
New year, new pooch. According to the American Pet Products Association, 12.6 million U.S. households have welcomed a new pet amid the pandemic.
And all these puppies started with us because we were still allowed to be running our services. However, the lockdown was in place, so we were able to help people at some point with these dogs. With the second lockdown, we had puppies that we had already known and worked with, established relationships, and did socializing in here with people and other dogs come back to see us again, and they were extremely anxious, having separation anxiety from their owners because their owners are home all the time with them at their side, working from home. So there's that issue.
So we thought, she would enjoy the pandemic a bit more because instead of us being at work, we were home with her. But then she quickly realized we're all home and we're not going anywhere.
That's good for the dogs, at least most of them. They get to go on a lot of walks. Some dogs are saying, no more walks, please, but, it could cause a problem when we eventually start to go back to work and leave the house.
Whenever we go out, be it for 5 minutes or 2 hours.
This is what he's just not settled at all.
He must be exhausted.
And then the second issue is like with the social distancing. A lot of people are nervous to be around other people with their dogs playing in case something would happen, and just getting tangled up with a leash and become in close contact. So the other really big example of how we see this is really affecting dogs is our second lockdown, which would be when we were not allowed to have dogs in here for 12 weeks. And at that point, what we saw was like all these new puppy people and puppies that from that exact period, I'm now dealing with these puppies who had no socializing or interactions with other puppies or people and environment in that very crucial stage between 8 and 16 weeks when the brain's developing and they're supposed to learn all their social skills. So now we're dealing with like extreme fear issues and anxiety cases like we've never seen in here before, like to this extreme.
Notice it with her, she's far more lethargic. She mopes around a bit more.
Some of the other things we have are like a lot of people are really fed up and bored and want to get out and moving around with their new puppies, and they're dragging their puppies into an environment that's too overwhelming for them, like just the big world outside, taking them for leash walking and dragging them along, and they're only like between 8 and 10 weeks, rather than sit there, take the world in, learn and get used to sounds and all the noises and smells and being fed treats for positive reinforcement. They're just trying to drag them out there to do these walks because they just want to get going with their pups. So they're seeing these puppies that are so frightened and overwhelmed because they're being flooded rather than properly slowly conditioned to the whole new world they're in. So yes, there's a ton of different issues, and not to mention there's the grooming where people are not, they had problems getting their dogs groomed.
We recommend 4 to 6 weeks for a full groom. When they're little puppies, we recommend about 2 to 3 weeks, just so that they can get used to that entire process.
So there were skin problems and all sorts of fears with being groomed again.
Even grooming, like, I think we were like 2 months, waiting to get her nails cut and her hair cut and stuff.
Not being groomed for a while, and matting and just all the things that come with not being groomed, all the health issues for a dog. So we had to deal with that and send some of the dogs to the vet because they weren't in the best shape.
If you want to find a way to help animals in need, you're not in a position to adopt, but you'd like to support, then definitely head on to our website, torontohumanesociety.com, to find out more about how you can get involved, as well as potentially make a donation towards helping animals in need.
This pandemic has been hard on each of us. We should be aware of all the issues that impacted pets and their owners. This is not easy for anyone or anything. Pets have been important to everyone during this time, source of smiles, happiness, and joy. Let's hang in there, and let's show these pets more love than ever.